3, 2, 1. So we are going to be playing a Champions League game in this episode, but I don't actually know who we're going to be playing against just yet because we've come back for another particular game first. I'm not going to tell you what type of game it is, what the competition is. I'm just going to pop this on and I'm going to leave you to make your own judgments. How you doing, everybody, and welcome to part 13 of the Aston Villa save here on FM24. I'm Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video where we turned it around against Arsenal and we got ourselves to a Carabao Cup final for the second season in a row against Brentford, of all of the teams, but against Brentford it is. And then we will be playing the second leg of the round of 16 in the Champions League when we eventually get drawn it, because at the moment we're still in February. And if you're excited to see how we get on in both of those games and also are excited to see our chances of winning another trophy, then do not forget to leave a big like on the video for me and to subscribe so you don't miss any of the nonsense like that comes out of this face right here. Yeah, we're through. I mean, I've got to show you it because it was utter nonsense. Not that one, that was in the league. 4-1. Don't know how, don't know why, don't know where that came from, but it came from somewhere. But since you're last with us in general, it has been pretty good going. We haven't lost a game at all. We've only drawn against Arsenal. That's the only game we've dropped points in, and by that I mean it's the only game that we haven't not won. But we smashed Middlesbrough, beat Atletico Madrid relatively comfortably, had to scrape by against Wolves, smashed Arsenal, comfortable win against Leicester, but a bit of a leaky defensive performance. Bit of a struggle against Arsenal in the league, and then we scraped past Chelsea in the league as well, which leads us to today. And then we will be coming back. You can't see it because my big head's in the way at the moment, but hopefully you can see here. 11th of March will be the second leg of that Champions League game. We will be coming back for that because, of course, we will be. But yeah, now, transfers. Oh, there are a few. So you knew about Tyrone Mings being on the transfer list, you knew about offers coming in, but I don't think it had actually been confirmed. He did eventually leave, and he is now at Al Sadd, and he went for £23 million. So actually we've made a profit on him by £3 million, which is something at the very least. But he's not going to get any better. He would have done a job for us, but to be honest with you, I didn't get on with him in this save, which is depressing to say because I do really like him. So we sold him, and then with the funds from him and the Diogo Dalot transfer, which I believe you guys saw. If you didn't, just to confirm that one, Al Ali, and he went for $49.5 million. We made a profit on him. I think because we made a profit on him, I'm fairly confident you guys would have seen this, but we made that one. But there were the two big transfers out at this point, which we then reinvested in the squad. You know about Sir Jack Grealish, of course, but then we also reinvested in the positions that we lost. So the first one we brought in was the one we were talking about, Wilfried Singo. Now, I'll be first to admit, he's not that good. He's better as a winger more than anything. He's a 2.5-star fullback. To be honest with you, in his 2 substitution appearances so far, he's been alright, actually. But again, the plan for this was, let's bring in someone who's as good as Matty Cash, who's younger than Matty Cash, who can replace the older Matty Cash when we bring in someone next season over the top of him. That was the logic anyway. I don't know whether it's good logic. Also, he's 6'3" as a right back. That's mental. But we bought him in for £16 million. That is not bad considering we sold the person who he's replacing for over £40 million. I think that's a good bit of business personally. But that wasn't all. We needed a proper centre-back to come in to replace Tyrone Mings, who, to be honest, is more comfortable playing on the right side. 3 of the 4 that we had of the centre-backs wanted to play on the left. Now we have 2 on the left, 2 on the right. And Joe Gomez was that guy. Bit of an out there one in the terms of he's not the obvious one these days because he's not really done a lot. But in terms of the game, he looks very, very good indeed. He started off quite well as well. Nothing spectacular. Obviously, that is not his stats for us. That's his stats in general. But we bought him in for £55 million. So it is a chunk of money. He's averaging nearly a 7 so far in the league. He is cup tied for the Carabao Cup. It is worth pointing that out. Champions League, I think he's okay in the knockout rounds, but we haven't got to that point yet. So he was the other big one. But Gomez and Singo were not the only transfers that we actually made. Leandro Trossard, because why not? We got a really decent deal with Leandro Trossard to bring him in on loan from Arsenal. So we are loaning him. There's no fee. It's just wages, and even then, I don't think we're paying that much of his wages. I mean, we're paying half of it. That's a good deal, if you ask me, for the quality of player that he is. I've just gone off the screen, which was really smart. Let me get it back. There we go. I think for the quality of player that he is, it's not a bad shout at all. He can cover across the attacking line here. Okay, right wing not so good, but he can do it. He can also play as a striker, and that's what really appealed to me, is the fact that he can play in so many different forward positions, just in case we have any issues. At the moment, we don't actually have a backup attacking midfielder. If we're counting Jack Grealish as a left winger, I'll get to that. But we did bring Leandro Trossard in, and we also brought in Ainsley Maitland-Niles, purely because he can cover everywhere. I saw him, I saw his wages were £5,000 a week, and I thought to myself, do you know what? He will do as someone who can just cover a position if we need it. Right back, left back, centre mid, defensive mid. He can do wings if we need him to. The chances are he will never play for us, but I saw him and I thought, do you know what? He'll cover, and that's all I need him for. And that was it, which does bring our our spending for the season to 309 million, although transfers out are 212. So we have made some money. So I'm quite content with that. I mean, bearing in mind that Carnesecchi, Archie Gray were technically last season as well, so that does take us over to like a bit further into the £300 million area. But you know what? I'm cool with it. So yeah, I mean, we'll get on to the Cup and we'll go over other stuff after this match. This is probably going to be a longer episode because we will stop when we find out who we're playing in the Champions League. I'll show you what the result is for the first leg and then we'll get to the second leg. We'll also talk about the league as well. So this one will probably be on the longer side. But this is the 11 that we're going to be using in the Carabao Cup final. Headlines first before I read the squad out. 3 cup-tied players, Gomez, Grealish, Trossard. Or in other words, all the players we brought in January. So we're rocking this with the squad that got us to the dance, if you want to think of it that way. Injury-wise, John McGinn's had a bit of a knock recently, but he's fine, all is well. I did have a fallout with Youri Tielemans. I did try and... Apologies, the ghost opened my door. I did try and force him out of the club a little bit. I've got to be honest with you. I just did. So, he's going to be on the bench. We're going to try and reintegrate him back in with a view to selling him next year. I've got nothing against him. He is very, very good. But, I don't know. I kind of want to move him on so there's not a threat to Gray, because Gray has been very good for us this season, but does feel a little bit threatened by the arrival of all things, of Jack Grealish, who can't play as a defensive midfielder, which is where Archie Gray is playing. By the way, this formation does seem to have worked quite a bit. The last couple of games in particular, it has felt quite comfortable, so fingers crossed it will continue. But your 11 for the Carabao Cup final against Brentford. Again, Brentford, I mean, I've got to look. I know I'm making this video even longer, but I've got to look at their route through to the final. I mean, let's just study this for a moment. So, started against Morecambe, fine. Everton, fine. Got through against Chelsea on penalties. But other than that, what an easy route they've ended up having to the final. When you compare that with ours, let's just take out everything apart from the Carabao Cup. I mean, to be fair, ours was quite easy as well. It was just Arsenal. So we've each had one big club on the route. But all of ours have been like Premier League level quality teams. I mean, Norwich are in the Championship, but they're near the top of it. Brighton are still a Premier League club. Watford, okay, they're Championship, but they're typically a Premier League level-ish club, lower Premier League level. So, I mean, I do find it very surprising. Why is Europa Conference League on here? I do find it quite surprising, to be honest with you, that we're facing Brentford. But you know what? I'm cool with it. So let's get into the game. So it is Carnesecchi in goal, Cash, Biol, Torres and Digne in defence. Gray and I are in midfield with Diaby, Ramsey and Lamar supporting Wahi up front. Jacob Ramsey has kind of hit good form recently. We've had to play around with his position and some of his instructions, but it does feel like we've got him playing how we want him to. So let's just see whether he can do it. Now, it's been a bit of an interesting kind of process to try and work out who to start today. There's a couple of issues with some of the players in the squad, but on the whole, everything's fine. The main issue we've got is A, Archie Gray is not happy because he feels like he's been replaced by Jack Grealish, even though Jack Grealish doesn't play anywhere near his position. B, Youri Tielemans feels like we've forced him out of the club because we've prioritised Archie Gray. C, Xhaka Biol feels like he's been replaced by Joe Gomez, which he has, even though Xhaka Biol is actually a squad player, so he shouldn't be bothered by that at all. So everything's great. And we're hoping that it can continue today, and fingers crossed we can get some good momentum by winning a trophy. You watch now, we won't be winning a trophy. I mean, Brentford have started like a house on fire from the looks of things, which is a bit of a concern. So fingers crossed we can put the foot down on the gas and get things going. I mean, the momentum-wise, match momentum-wise, it looks like we have picked up a little bit, but we do start with a highlight for Brentford. So hopefully we can steal the ball off of them and go up the other end. I have actually slowed our play down a little bit, just in an attempt to get us to control games a little bit more and stop being a counter-attacking team. And of course, as soon as I say that, we enter into a counter-attack. Jacob Ramsey leading one on here, doing it all himself. Jacob Ramsey has just scored an absolute, in my opinion, a worldie. He's just ran half the length of the pitch with the ball. No one wants it off of him. Like, literally from the halfway line, no one can get the ball off of him. No one wants to go near him. And even when they do get near him, he just runs around them. And Pinnock does nothing. David Raya does nothing. And we lead by 1-0. Well then. Also, David Raya, isn't he at Arsenal? Did I start this before he went to Arsenal? Is he only on loan at Arsenal? I thought Arsenal had signed him on a permanent. My mistake. I genuinely thought that he was there permanently at Arsenal. Obviously, he's not. And he's ended up back at Brentford. Well, there you go. I've learned something new today. That was our only shot on target, by the way, but I don't really care because Jacob Ramsey's just pulled something off pretty special. And again, since we've changed formation, he's had a rotten bit of form. He really has. He's really struggled. Like, we were playing him in his alleged preferred position of shadow striker. Couldn't get a good game out of him. So going to attacking midfield was not a gamble, but, you know, I wanted to play him in the position that he believes he was best in. Oh, my God. Ayer and Ramsey taking each other out there, which is very disappointing. And Karnasechi had to get down a bit low there. Karnasechi, I think we will replace in the summer. He's a good goalkeeper, but he's 2 stars. He's not at the level that we're probably going to need him to be going forward. I mean, I don't know how long the save is going to go on for. That's something I will get on to. But that was a good first half, although we could do a little bit better. Eliowahi looks like he's causing an absolute menace. Being an absolute menace, causing havoc, which I absolutely rate. I don't think we'll change anything. I think we'll continue. I think we'll just continue on in there. But yeah, I'm really happy that we've kind of solved Jacob Ramsey because that was getting to be a bit of a problem and I was getting a bit worried, but we've got him to the point where he can actually have a decent game now. That is the most important thing. Right, Gray, trying to get it through to Lamar, who has been a very good servant. He's been very good again this season on the whole, but I think funds next season, we need to work out what we're going to do with them, because I think we're getting to the point where our squad is pretty good going. What I will say is, Diaby has really impressed me since we've given him a run in the team. And I do think Diaby will end... Oh, goodness me. I do think Diaby will end up staying. And I think Lamar is likely the one to leave. I think we'll be able to do it by making a profit on him as well. I'm a bit concerned that we've given the ball away so loosely there. And here come Brentford. And here is the equaliser. And all of a sudden it's 1-1. And I'm going to fire the boys up. It's a cup final. It's all good, boys. Come on. Brentford have got here on merit. We're here on merit. Lovely passing from them, I have to say there. Absolutely lovely passing. I was talking Diaby up, and look at the shocker he's had today. Absolutely appalling. They have started so much better in the second half than we have. Momentum-wise, it's all them at the moment, so we need to do something to change that. Right, Diaby's coming off. He's had an absolute shocker. I'm going to bring Ansu Fati on because Ansu Fati is a decent player and has got a little bit of magic in his toes. Centre-back pairing hasn't done very well. I'm going to bring Gueye on for Pau Torres. And I'm going to leave it at that, I think. Although I could bring Miranda on. Do you know what? I'm going to bring Miranda on. Let's do that. I'm going to change things mostly defensively. But bring one extra attacking player on. I'm going to demand more from the boys. Let's see if we can go and get the winner. It's been all them in the second half, which is appalling, actually. The more I stop and look at it, the more I kind of realise just how bad that is, that we've had nothing in this second half. Right. I'm going to berate the team for their lack of momentum in this half. And we've got one more change. Thomas Lamar is looking like the player who's going to come off. I'm going to keep Jacob Ramsey on, shifting to the left. I'm not bringing Ollie Watkins on. I'm bringing Douglas Luiz, who we are training to play in this attacking midfield position. And he does look quite lively when he does come on. And I'm just wondering, is there anything else we can do? I mean, is there? That is the question. Is there? Let's do that. Right. Jensen. Is he having impact on the game? He's only just come on, but that's going hard on him. Shard has done very well. We're going hard on him. And De Silva, we're going hard on him. So we're going to try and push some of the lads a little bit, if we can. I'm going to press Ben Me as well, because in the nicest possible way, it's Ben Me. So let's try and press him a little bit and see what we can do. We really have struggled in this second half, though. And Brentford might be able to capitalise on it. Right, it's a corner to Brentford, whipping it in. De Silva's underneath it. Carnesecchi is not able to save it. And we go behind in the Carabao Cup final. Well, now it's a real test of our mettle, isn't it? Now it's a real test. Fire up. What can we do? Right, tempo's going to go up. We're going to push up a little bit. I'll leave it at that. Come on, boys. Come on, we need some momentum here. We've had a chance. We've had a chance. But then momentum's kicked on. I think we've lost this final, lads. And Brentford, I tell you what, they deserved it. They were all over us in that second half. We gave them a silly opportunity. We let them score it. I say we let them score it. They scored it. But disappointing that we didn't win it again this year. But you know what? It's fine. It's all good. We're looking good in the league. I haven't really spoken to you about the league, but we're looking good in the league. So I can forgive this a little bit. I'm not happy about it, but I can forgive it a little bit. Don't want to watch your stinking celebrations. Go on. But I am disappointed with some of the players. It wasn't a good game by some of them. BR hasn't done his case any favours there. I mean, I'm going to say it's unacceptable. And I'm going to tell all of them that they were shocking today. Because it wasn't a good performance by any of them. It really wasn't. I mean, how long is this video going to be? It starts off with a cup final loss. I mean, match momentum. Is it going to be in here? Can I see? Matches, last match. I mean, look at that. Look at the state of that. That first half was a bit closer than I thought it was, but we definitely were the form team in that second half. In that first half, sorry. But that second half was atrocious. 48th and 88th minute, we just let them do everything. And that is unacceptable, really. XG-wise, very, very close. There's only 0.05 in it. But I think we should be quite disappointed with the fact, not the result, but the fact we let them get that result by letting them dominate us in the second half. Check me out. I'm using the data hub. Check me out. But yeah, we have to deal with that. Right, well, this stupid tie can disappear. I don't want it anymore. Get rid of that nonsense. But that's that out of the way. So now we need to work out when we're finding out, because it's only in a couple of games' time that we have the first leg. Is it on here? FA Cup quarter-final draw. We are still in the FA Cup, so that is a chance for a trophy this year. Nothing on here to say when we'll get the draw. I nearly hit go on holiday then. I mean, I feel quite disappointed. We battered Brentford 3-1 the first time we played them, and I'm assuming we've still got to play them again in the league. Yeah, there. So that'll be a nice, hopefully a nice opportunity for revenge. Wow. Disappointed, but it's all good because we've still got the round of 16 Champions League to play, and fingers crossed we can get through to a quarter-final. Or we lose that as well, and this episode ends up being an absolute write-off. One or the other, let's find out, shall we? I'll be back when we know who we're playing, and then I'll come back, show you what the first result was, and then we'll come back for the second leg. And fingers crossed we can get through and do a bit better than we did in the League Cup final, because that was a bit rubbish. Time for that draw. It's taken a little while, taken a game or two, but we're finally there. I say game or two, I think it's taken one extra game. But we are here for the draw. I mean, I don't normally do the big draws like this, but shall we do it for once? Let's do it. Why not? I think the music's turned off. I hope the music's turned off. Apologies if it's not. Right. So, can I just manually do it? Click advance. Okay, so Liverpool get Nice. Okay, that's one match. Fenerbahce. I'd take this lot. I'm assuming this is the group of teams it can be. I would take Fenerbahce if we can. That'd be lovely. No, okay, fine, we won't take that. Right, Bologna. Again, I'd take this one if I can. That'll do. I think that'll do. Bologna, Aston Villa, and it means we've got the home game from the looks of things at the home game. The home game in the second leg. So that could be quite exciting. Right, well, I will be back after we played that game. And Bologna currently 9th in Serie A. Where did they finish last season? In 5th. So they got through the same way that we did. So in theory, we should be similar teams, although they are having an awful season compared to ourselves. So that's going to be an interesting one. Right, well, I'll go away. I'll play Leeds. I'll play Bologna. I'll play the game in between. Go through all of the wrong competitions. So yeah, I'll play Leeds. I'll play Bologna. I'll play Southampton. And then we'll come back for Bologna. And yeah, fingers crossed. We won against Fulham, by the way, but it wasn't convincing at all. We had to come from behind. It was very, very disappointing. I mean, the match ratings make it look a lot better than it was. It was a rough watch, so I'm glad we didn't do that one. In fact, to be fair, I'm not, because it was just as bad as the Brentford game, to be honest with you. Just we got a bit luckier. But we're still in the FA Cup. That's the main thing. Right. I'll be back for the second leg of the round of 16. Fingers crossed we can progress through to a cheeky Champions League semi-final. Well, other than a couple of sloppy goals, we did get through the game against Bologna in the first leg. Relatively comfortably speaking, we were 2-0 up, went to 2-1, went to 3-1, went to 3-2, and then scored a late goal to make it look a little bit better. Wahi and Douglas Luiz having great games. Jacob Ramsey having a good one as well. Jack Grealish, I will say, if you've watched the channel since I started, then you'll know that I have a relationship with Jack Grealish that is very love-hate. He's not been great so far. This was another game where he was a bit wasteful. I'm hoping with a pre-season next season under his belt, he'll turn things around. But this one wasn't a good one. But the important thing is we did get the win. We did win the away game. We now have Southampton's playing in the Premier League, followed by the return leg against Bologna. Oh, by the way, FA Cup, we got Manchester United, because of course we did. I will be back for that Bologna game, and fingers crossed we can find our way through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Oh, Jacob, my Jacob. Jacob Ramsey with a hat-trick in the game against Southampton. Lovely stuff. I mean, what a run he's been on since we've changed this formation. I mean, he was playing okay, was getting the odd goal, but if you look at when we changed the formation, scores there, didn't score in a bunch after that, and then we had a bit of a fiddle with the formation. And then when we get to the game against Arsenal, the game after, scores a hat-trick there, doesn't score, scores 3 games in a row, hasn't scored in the last couple, but then scores a hat-trick here. What an insane run he's on. He's currently our top scorer in the league. Absolute madness, but that's not what we're here to talk about. However, I will just quickly show you the Premier League table, because I don't think I've made enough of a deal of the fact that we're top. With 6 points in hands, with a game in hands. How insane is that? That is absolutely nuts. We are currently the favourites for the league, which is utter insanity. And we've got none of our players on any of these lists whatsoever. I will say, clean sheets, Martinez is 4th with 11, which, quite frankly, is ridiculous. He was down here at some point, so that is utterly ridiculous. Goal-wise, it's been spread out, but Jacob Ramsey's up there with 13th. He's currently 4th, while he's on there with 12. Again, bear in mind, Ramsey, hat-tricks. Assists is wild, though. Lamar and Gray all the way down here. Douglas Luiz all the way down here. The assists have been really spread out this season, so bit of madness. But let's get to the game against Bologna. Remember, it's a 4-2 lead that we have over them from the first leg, and this is the 11 we're taking with us to hopefully get past them at Villa Park. It is Martinez in goal, Cash, Gomez, Torres and Digne in defence, Gray and Kamara in the midfield with Diaby, Ramsey and Grealish supporting Wahi up front. We do not have Leandro Trossard for the rest of the season. He's pretty much done. But other than that, it's a fully available squad. Douglas Luiz, I feel really bad for, because he played really well in the game when he came on, but we need to find out what to do with him, because at the moment his best position is one we're not using him in. I mean, maybe we should try and have him be the backup playmaker, but then he gets in the way of Tielemans, who has been decent recently. It's a really difficult one. And then what on earth do we do with John McGinn as well? We've got too many central midfielders, but that is a problem for another time. And technically, Trossard is on the bench, so we'll swap him with Tim. Not that Tim's going to start, but let's see what we can do. Apparently, Moussa Diaby is hurt about something. I don't know what. That concerns me when Diaby is both starting and has also been sensational recently. I mean, I don't know whether I've made enough about it or not, but from where he was at the beginning of the season, where he was playing so badly that he couldn't get a game, to now where he's actually pushed Lamar out of the team, to the point where Lamar probably is going to be sold in the summer. I haven't fully decided that, but there's a good chance. The only thing that could save Lamar is his flexibility and the fact that he has got a really good performance in him. But there is a really strong chance Lamar leaves, and it's all because Diaby has finally kicked on. And then I think, for the rest of this save, however long it may be, our attack is settled. It's Grealish on the left, Ramsey in the middle, Diaby on the right. Diaby scored a goal, Wahi up front. Results. And Diaby did score, as you saw. And again, just ridiculous turnaround in form compared to where he was at, because he was absolutely nowhere, looking like he was going to get sold in January. Utter madness. Utter madness. Diaby just bides his time. Digne with the assist. I have tweaked the tactic a little bit. Digne is now playing where he was originally playing when we started the save, as a complete wing back. Grealish is an inverted winger on support, so he's actually dropping back a little bit. Played quite well in the last game with it, I have to say. So we'll see how he does. We might end up going with him being an attacking winger, because it might just be the right thing to do, just to get him a bit more involved. But what I'm thinking is, he comes back, drops into the middle, gets more involved there, and helps feed a little bit. But I don't know. I might be overthinking Jack, to be honest with you, because again, he's come in. He wasn't playing all the time at Man City. We've had to get his match sharpness up, and he's not used to playing with the team. And Joe Gomez goes and gets his second goal of the season. I think it is. It says on commentary, his first goal for Villa. And we lead by 2 on the night, 6-2 overall. And that is, it's got to be game, set, and match now. It has got to be. Skorupsi makes an upsie, and it is 2-0. Lovely, lovely stuff. Can we get a third? I would very much like to. I am just going to... I keep fiddling with him. I'm going to change Jack to attack and just see whether he'll get a little bit more involved now. I'd like to see a bit more from Jack Grealish, but at the moment we're not getting it. But at half-time we lead by 2. It's 6-2 overall. That is great. I am going to ask Jack for a little bit more. I'm going to tell him I'm not happy. That has motivated him a little bit. I'm going to tell Digne, who's had a great game, that he needs to calm himself. And I'm going to demand more from the boys. I'd like a third. I'd very much like a third. If we can have one, please. That would be delicious. That would be very delicious. Send those Villa Park fans home happy. Digne, by the way, with 2 assists today, which is lovely to see. Right, we have another corner. Digne could get a hat-trick of assists here. Into Pau Torres, doesn't quite get on the end of it. Grealish to Diaby. And Diaby gets a goal. Jack Grealish will get an assist, which is lovely to see. Jack Grealish, not the game changer he was before his move to Man City, but he's still getting involved. And Moussa Diaby gets another goal today. What a performance he's had. So it's headed out here. It's Gomez who gets on the end of it. Over to Jack. Jack, I thought he might go for the shot there. He didn't. Pass it to Diaby, and it's deflected through the crowd a little bit, I think. Jack Grealish somehow doesn't get an assist on that. He literally passed it to him. What more does the man need to do? Right, Digne lofts it in, looking for the goal. Well, looking to get past the goalkeeper, doesn't quite do it. Skorupsi is there to stop any attacks happening. Rolls it out very, very close to him and to some of our players as well, which felt like a bit of a risk, but he got away with it. Right, here come Bologna, who we just haven't seen much of. The team who finished 5th in Serie A last season. Of course, they're around 9th this season. Right, Grealish now. He's going to cut inside. No, goes with his left foot, and Eliawahi ends up battering it into the back of the net. He will be checked for offside. The flag is not up. I've got every hope that this will be given, and it will be 4-0 on the night, and it will be 8-2 overall. Being checked by VAR, and the result is it is given, because of course it is. Wonderful. Matty Cash drifts inside here, gets it out wide to Jack Grealish, which is lovely to see. Grealish doesn't cut back on his right, sticks on his left, pile drives it in, and then Eliawahi does the same thing, makes it 4 on the night, gets his goal. Jack gets his assist that was robbed of him from Moussa Diaby's second goal. And we do lead comfortably. And I am now thinking about changes just for freshness. Jacob Ramsey's been a little bit anonymous today. I'm actually going to move Jack into the middle. We're going to take Ramsey off for... I'm going to bring John McGinn on. We haven't played him for a while. Let's bring John McGinn on. Let's give him a game. Archie Gray is going to come off for Douglas Luiz. I'm going to give Luiz a game in a more familiar position. And I'm going to bring Mark Guay on, who has been very poor recently. We're already winning. I'm going to say there's no pressure. In fact, let me take you off. Go and make the difference. And then you... I just want you to say... Where is it? Play without any pressure. Because there's no pressure on you. We're 4-0 up. It's 8-2 overall. Go out there and play without any pressure. Just go and have some fun, Mark. Because you need to. You need to. Right. Well, this has gone splendidly. This has gone very splendidly indeed. Final substitution window approaching. Let's have a look. And Moussa Diaby is tiring. I don't really want to take off a player who's on 2 goals, though. I'd feel really, really bad for doing that. So we're not going to do that. We're going to leave him where he is. I'm going to take Digne off for Miranda. And for my final trick, Matty Cash can come off. Signo can come on. Signo? Singo. That's what I meant to say. So a double fullback change. And let's just see the game out. I mean, I'd love a 5th. I've got no problem with us working hard if we go and get a 5th. But if not, let's take our foot off the gas. Let's just relax a little bit. That'd be nice. I think we are doing just that. And that is textbook how you get through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. That is superb. That is a performance we haven't had for a little while. And I'm really, really happy we got it. I don't know what the delay was there. I mean, we did have it against Southampton as well. And you could probably say in the first leg against Bologna. But we haven't had back-to-back good performances like that for a while. It's good to see us do well, to be honest with you. Now, here's the issue. Why he's now tired. Before the FA Cup against Manchester United, that's a problem. That is a real problem. Well, it's not the end of the world. But and also, Jack Grealish and Joe Gomez, who played really well in that last game, out of the game because they're cup tied. So Jacobiol will come back in, and so will Thomas Lemar. So we'll see whether Lemar can respond to my criticisms. He probably will now and give me a real selection headache. Let me do that. I mean, I could do all of this off camera, to be honest with you. But that is going to be it for today. Now, when do we come back? Well, we're obviously coming back. Oh, goodness me. I had a burp. I don't know where that came from. Apologies, viewers. We're obviously going to come back for the Champions League. We'll come back for a Premier League game as well. I mean, I'm looking at Man United and I'm thinking, do we come back for that one? Or do we avoid it because it's Man United? I don't know. But we're coming back for that second game here. So I'm going to play through those. We'll come back there. And we'll see what the universe has in store for us. I mean, bear in mind, we've just got through the round of 16. This is the quarter-final. Where's the semi-final going to fit in? Like, it feels like we're not going to have a lot of time left in this season whatsoever, but what do I know? But that's going to be it for today's video, so until next time. Thanks so much for watching. Do not forget to leave a like on the video for me if you have enjoyed, and I did just punch my phone on the table. Don't ask me why. And don't forget to subscribe. It is completely free to do so, and you will make me a very happy chap. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome, and I will see you next time. Cheers.